Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Playmates Godzilla vs Kong Skullcrawler with Heave. I was really looking forward to actually picking this figure here up as he looks fantastic, especially once again for that $10 price point. Not to mention that GVK is just around the corner and I am super excited to see what the movie has in store for us. Taking a quick look here at the packaging, you can see that it is very basic, much like we have seen with all of the previously released Playmates 6-inch figures. We've got an open window view display which very nicely showcases the actual Skullcrawler himself with the battle damaged flesh piece as well as the Heave vehicle here. As we spin around here to the back, we've got a great product shot of the Skullcrawler as well as of course all of the other figures that are indeed available in the line. I have currently got reviews out for Warbat, Godzilla with Heat Ray and Kong with Battle Axe, so be sure to check those out if you did unfortunately miss those. I wasn't necessarily expecting the Skullcrawler to actually make a return here for the GVK movie, and as far as I can recall, I cannot remember actually seeing him in any of the trailers. So this character here may just could be getting an action figure release than as opposed to actually appearing in the movie, but regardless, the figure here looks fantastic, so let's crack him open and see what awaits us inside. And so here we have the Skullcrawler and Heave opened up and out of their packaging, and this may just be my favourite 6-inch figure released by Playmates so far. This is such a great action figure, and I'm really excited also to see how their upcoming Mechagodzilla does in fact turn out. Stay tuned to the channel for a full review when I do get my hands on that. Before we take a look at the Skullcrawler, who is currently having a throwdown with both Kong, Warbat and Godzilla, we'll start off by taking a look here at the Heave. Now this is in fact a hollow earth anti-gravity vehicle, which may be a spoiler for the upcoming movie, but I'm pretty certain we have seen this in the trailer, and you can see that as far as the sculpt work is concerned, for an additional accessory, I think it has turned out super nice. I also do believe that there is a Heave that does come included with Mechagodzilla that is cast in green plastic than as opposed to the grey. I personally prefer the grey as I think it looks a little more militaristic, but nevertheless you can see here that we've got some really nice looking sculpt work, and it certainly does give you the perspective of how large these titans actually are, as I'm pretty certain this would be a huge militaristic vehicle that would house many humans. So this certainly is a tiny piece when in comparison. But taking a look at the Skullcrawler itself, of course I shall be basing accuracy mainly on how it appeared in the original Kong movie than as opposed to GVK, as we haven't as of yet, as mentioned, actually seen these in the trailer. But the sculpt work is so nicely done, especially as far as that head sculpt is concerned. You can see that you've got the hollow nature here of where I imagine the nostrils would be, as I'm pretty certain these are supposed to be the eyes, and I do like the rather skeletal aesthetic that you do get from this. Of course the tongue has been picked out in a really nice looking pink, and all of the teeth look very serrated and as if though they could certainly do some superb damage to their opponents. You can also see a very nice looking red paint app carried all the way throughout the spine. I also do like the battle damage details that we have here for the paintwork. As we turn to the underside, it is just as detailed, if anything more detailed than the front, and the overall design just looks superb. I also love how he has got these spikes where the shoulders are, so if he wanted to, he could jab Kong right in the neck, or of course Godzilla, and I think that the overall design and the proportions all look very accurate to how the Skullcrawlers originally appeared in that Kong movie. As we take a look here towards the tail, this is in fact a separate piece that you will have to install straight out of the packaging, although it is very straightforward and is exactly the same installation process as both Godzilla and the Warbat. You can also see some nice definition here to the sculpt where the neck is concerned, as well as that red fade, and overall I just think the paintwork has turned out exceptionally well. Of course, if you were a talented artist, I'm pretty certain you could do something spectacular with the sculpt work that we have here, but just in terms of how the figure comes packaged, I think they did an exceptional job. Now of course the Skullcrawler, much like all of these figures, does have the gimmick where you can actually reveal some battle damage details. So for this you just want to remove this entire back plate, and this is going to be a really awful wound for the Skullcrawler to actually endure in the movie. You can see that we are literally removing the entire back section, which reveals some really nice gory details there of the back spine as well as some of the ribs, and you can see that's all been picked out in a really nice looking red paint application. As far as articulation is concerned, the Skullcrawler of course has an opening jaw which can open to a great extent. We also do get a hinge joint here at the arm which can hinge up and down, as well as a rotation joint. We also do get that same range of motion here for where I imagine the elbow joint would be, so this can hinge out to the sides as well as of course rotate left to right. And then finally we do get a ball joint here at the tail which can of course allow this to rotate the full 360 and hinge side to side. So overall, as far as sculpt and articulation is concerned, this is by far one of my favourite looking characters from this Playmates 6-inch line, and you can just see that as far as scale is concerned, he is by far one of the biggest figures that this line does in fact have. He's just such an awesome design, and I really cannot wait to see him once again, hopefully on the silver screen if everything goes to plan. You can see that as far as his scale here with Kong is concerned, I think it works quite well. Of course, in the new movie, Kong is significantly bigger than his appearance in the original Kong movie, so he does look a little big in comparison to when we last saw him standing next to a Skullcrawler, but I think that it works quite well. And of course, we do not know as of yet as to how these will scale with Godzilla and of course the Warbat. This pretty much sums up all of the figures that I shall be purchasing for the first wave. I'm not particularly fussed about the two variants of Kong and Godzilla. I'm more looking forward to the next wave, which of course has Mecha Godzilla and even some repaints of, I believe, the Hong Kong battle, where we've got some super nice vibrant transparent plastic on Godzilla and a really nice looking colour scheme on Kong. So I'm definitely looking out for those figures, but as mentioned in all of these reviews, I think these are exceptional value for money. They are by far one of the best value toy items that are currently on shelves. I really do not know how Playmates are able to give you this much quality whilst at the same time being able to sell these at such a decent price. The plastic feels great, the detail's exceptional, and the articulation for the most part is really well done. And of course we get the battle damage feature as well as the inclusion of the Hollow Earth anti-gravity vehicle. I really hope that you enjoyed my review here for the Godzilla vs Kong Skullcrawler. Please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below on which out of these 6-inch Playmates figures are your personal favourites, which ones do you already own, and which ones are you currently hunting for. Also be sure to let me know on how excited you all are for the upcoming GVK movie, and whose team are you on, Godzilla or Kong's. As mentioned prior, I've always been a huge fan of Kong, so I'm really hoping that he absolutely obliterates Godzilla in the upcoming film. I thank you all for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.